Welcome to the Mystery of the AIU. I'm Kisma, and today's experience is meant to be gentle, playful, and immersive. A time to slow down, follow curiosity, and see what emerges. And for some of you, a refresher. Most importantly, I am inviting all of you to step outside the box. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am very excited that you're here. And I just want to say that my gift to the Black Friday bundle is very precious to my heart because it was the very first workshop I offered in my Visionary Artist Path School community. So I'm inviting everybody who is here today, whether you're a creative entrepreneur, an artist, hands-on, an artist, digital, or even a writer. My community was designed for you. So I'm inviting all of you, no matter what your level of experience is with any of it, to take a beginner's mindset and rediscover the wonder that first drew you to AI imagery, because that is what today is all about. If you are brand new, just breathe and trust that curiosity will guide you. And if you're somewhere in between, well, we're going to have a great time. We're going to have some fun here. Most importantly, though, this is a soft space. I want you to discover or open up to possibilities. And I would like for you to tune into your own creative rhythm. Remember, you're not here to perfect anything. You're here to awaken something. Something sparked inside of you and made you accept my gift. And I'm so glad you did. Let me start off with a little bit about my own path. Like many of you, I began simply curious about AI. My journey started in the summer of 2022 with the emergence of a new application called Midjourney. And that's when it was released, summer of, I think it was June of 2022. And I experienced it and I thought it was awful. But I remember that magical moment when my words turned into a world. So, as a hands-on artist, I didn't accept it in the beginning. I actually rallied against its use, but that's sort of an entirely different story. And anyways, 3 years later, here I am offering and sharing my experience and guidance with the use of AI. I no longer use Midjourney because it costs, and I don't think, well, that's beside the point. But however, on my journey from Midjourney, I moved into AI 3D design, actually creating objects, immersive objects that go into virtual worlds. I have created AI chatbots to use on my website, although right now I'm tweaking one. And I have begun to explore AI image incorporation into hands-on painting. The other thing I've been dabbling in and having a great time is I'm a writer. I write poetry, and so I've been setting my poem to AI music. And now I'm exploring AI animation, discovering how movement and story merged with visual art. Technically, I'm an AI everything art person. All right. The one thing I do want to say right off the bat is this, and this is really ultra important. AI isn't a replacement for creativity, it's a mirror for it. That's really important right off the bat. It reflects our imagination, our emotion, and spirit in ways we might not always see on our own. And that is what today's workshop is about, seeing yourself differently through that creative mirror. Think of this moment as your threshold. So let's begin with the first step in your creative awakening, meeting your AI self. To start off with, all you need for this is one photograph of yourself. Don't use anything you've already AI-ified. And don't use a photograph that's really artsy, really dramatic positions or costumes, etc. Just use a real life photo, a portrait of yourself. Just a plain old front view is best. In fact, if you're working on a Mac, you have what's called photo booth, and you could do it right now. You could open your photo booth, look into the camera, and click a picture. That's the perfect portrait to work with in today's experience. So what I'm going to be working with is a very simple, free, easy to navigate AI system. Everything I demonstrate for you today will be on gemini.google.com. Everyone has access to it. There are so many different AI image creator apps out there today that, paying for something doesn't necessarily mean it's better than. And I'm a firm believer in utilizing what has been given and offered to us. And if you decide to go pro, you can always subscribe and pay for it later. But I'm going to invite you to take a moment and open up Gemini. And when you get to the screen, it'll probably look like this. If you've never used it before, it's not going to say, hello, Kisma, like mine does. But it'll pretty much, when you get to the create image, it'll pretty much look like this. So if you've never worked with AI image creators or AI anything, it's always going to say ask. And this little box right here is what's called your prompter. This is where you are going to copy and paste things or write things. And then over here, this little arrow is what you will end up clicking to generate. And we'll walk through that in a minute. But I just want you to see this, okay? And I want you to be aware that the mirror awakens for you. And the way I'm going to work with you today, as I do the demonstrations, is I will begin by showing and explaining what I'm doing. I'm a visual learner. I have to see process. Then I need to see the process demonstrated, and then I do it myself. So that's how I also guide others. Here's my concept that I work with, and I just want to share it with you before I begin the full-on demo part of it. I work layer by layer. I'm a mixed media artist in real life, and that's the mindset I take when working with AI image creators. Creating with AI for me is just like painting. It happens one step at a time. I don't work, or usually I don't take a huge prompt, pop it in, and generate something. There's a time and a place for that, and we'll play with that a little bit in today's session. But I want to show you how to get an image to be the way you want it without feeling like you have to pose perfectly and be costumed and, you know, all of that good stuff. This is taking raw photos. You can have a scowl. Some of my ugliest photos of myself actually turn out to look pretty cool. So we are going to get a base image, a raw image off of a photograph. And then we will begin to give it directions one at a time. And each prompt will be a layer on that photo. We'll adjust one thing and we'll see what happens and gently build upon it. And I'll explain how, if you don't like the outcome, how to go back to the previous image before it and edit the prompt and regenerate it. We never work off of generated images that we don't like. We don't want to keep that image, and so we simply backtrack one step. We don't keep going on and on and on. So that's how you keep clarity, energy, and spirit alive in your photos that you AIify. You take your time, one change, one layer, one breath. Let your AI art unfold. And a little bit later, I will show you the difference of working with your AIified image and layering it versus taking a large prompt and dumping it in with your photo. Okay? So if you're ready, I'm ready, and I'm going to switch screens now, share my desktop so that we are looking at Gemini. Okay, here we are. So what I'm going to do is pull in a photo of myself, okay, along with a prompt. That you'll be receiving this prompt also, just so you know. You will be receiving this prompt in a Google document. Everything we work with today, the steps and the prompts will be there. Okay, I'm working with just a few different photographs of myself because I want to show you variation. And here we go. Let me just get out a couple of items for you. Actually, our idea is to make it as close to you as possible. So you can see here I put my picture in, and here I put a prompt in, and right here, see that arrow? It says submit when I go over it in the bottom right corner, submit. And then it begins to do its stuff. Oops, let me get out of the way. So it just takes a second. And it's talking to me. Let's see how it turns out. Okay, so there we have it. Here's the image. And it's changed it up just a little bit. Because I'm using the term expressionist, which comes, it reverts back to a era in paintings that's from Germany. It makes everything so severe and serious, okay? And so you can see right here with the wrinkles and the heavier creases right here. And so, you know, it's with this kind of, you'll see when you play with it, this is a prompt that you're going to use for serious, when you want really serious pictures. But now what I would do, I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, I want to lighten up I want to lighten up facial wrinkles. Okay, so I'm just saying now, remove all facial wrinkles. Let's see what it does. It lightened them, but it's still not as light as I would like it, but it smoothed out my face. You can see it. So I'm going to go back one more time and I'm going to say, remove the creases between the eyebrows. So there are none. Let's see what happens, okay? You can see how it's talking to me. Okay, I removed, and it did. It made I don't have creases between my eyebrows. I'm 67, and one of my real positives is that I don't have wrinkles on my forehead or between my eyebrows. You know, I have smile creases and laugh lines around my eyes, but I'm pretty wrinkle free. So when I get an image that has heavy wrinkles, it always makes me go, oh my gosh. But you can see it really dramatically decreased them. So just look at this compared to the original raw. And you can see it did quite a bit. And it's based on this picture of me, which if you look at it, you can tell there are no wrinkles, right? Okay, so that's just one example. And I've walked you through removing wrinkles, all right? Now, let's say that I'm okay with this, but that my eyes aren't quite as blue or blue-green as I would like them to be, you know, as they are in real life. Then I would do the next one. Now make my eyes blue-green, okay? I'm going to show you some pictures also. Let's see. It did change it. You can see there we go. Those are definitely more like the color of my eyes. See how they're just a little darker, and then you come up here and they're a little lighter. Okay, I'm going to put, do I like my hair? If I wanted to change my hair, all we're doing in the beginning is changing facial appearances and hair. Okay, so maybe I want my hair, make my hair curly. It is wavy, right? Let's see what it does. Oh, there I'm Shirley Temple. That's an old child actress. All right, so if I wanted to keep that, maybe I want my hair to have blue streaks in it. Now put blue streaks in my hair. Then it adds some blue streaks. Let's see what happens when I put me in makeup. Now put natural color eye shadow. Oops. Shadow on the eyelids. I do not wear makeup. So for me, this is like, we'll see what it does. Let's see, do we have, kind of a beige. You can see it's kind of come on. Yeah, all right. So you kind of get the idea. And this is starting because it's so much younger and it's starting to really kind of go away from that in that picture a lot. I want to show you. So what I'm going to show you now is a picture of me. You know, you'll hear people say, don't work with bad photos, faded or blurry. And I explored that to see if that was really true. And I find it not to be entirely true. So I came across this photo of me taken when I was 22, and it's faded. Yeah, it's definitely faded. But I used the same prompt that I just used, and this is what it generated. So, you know, it did take the image and shift the focal point, but it's still actually pretty close to the original. And then I put my eyes blue-green, and it did it. Changed the color of the eyes to blue-green. And then now make me smile. And you can make yourself smile. Now make me dance in a secret garden. Keep as close up portrait as possible. Keep face consistent with original. Well, it didn't quite do it. And I think because I have bare shoulders, I'm wearing a bathing suit, but for some reason, as it started to change me, it gave me little boobies. So it didn't continue to work the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to show you another variation. Okay, so I'm showing you this picture of me taken not too long ago, and I used the same prompt, and it AIified me. It's pretty good. There's my little puppy. It's pretty good. And I took that with the photo booth on my computer. And so I took this and I said, now remove my glasses. And my glasses are gone. It kept everything else the same. And then I said, now make me smile big. And now I'm smiling big. And everything is still pretty much the same. It didn't change it too much. If I wanted to continue with it, I might say, let's see, what might I do? I don't know. It's so hard to look at myself and do stuff. So yeah, now put purple streaks in my hair. They came in pretty light, but they're still there. And what happens is you get it to a place that you consider it to be a base photo. So for example, my base photo for that image would be this one, where I'm not smiling, because I never know if I want to smile or not. And I know I can drag it in and actually continue and say, make me smile. So I'll show you how that is. So I'm going to download this to my desktop. You won't see it. I'm downloading it. Okay, and now I'm going to start a new chat. And I'm going to drag that in. Let's just make sure it's the one we want. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to say, now make me smile. Okay, and it did. It went right to it. So you go to just, okay, we're going to do a texture and atmospheric contemporary realism with impressionist undertones. All right, so now I'm going to try what's called a neo-pop art illustrative style. And I'm going to bring in a younger image of me about 5 years ago. And I put the prompt in, and let's see what it generates. That's pretty fun. That's a really cool style. I'm going to bring in also a watercolor and gouache style. So let's bring in yet another image. This one was taken not so long ago, last year. And that's beautiful. I think that's just lovely. Really, really appreciate that style. I want to share with you what's considered a professional low poly geometric portrait that a lot of professional marketing, corporate marketing companies use. And here we go. Let's put this in. And I'll put my manicured short-haired gal. This actually gives you a very cool look. Okay. Now, while it looks like you, it still has that marketing look to it. So I think it's very cool. And I want to show you a sketch using a textured pencil, which is, it turns out really, really lovely. We're going to use the same photo. And I'm going to put the prompt in. Sanguine drawing. And how lovely is that? And that's good for marketing materials too, because it's your image, and yet it's very much little detached, you know, a little detached. All right, so I have some fun examples here that I want to show you of how you can take a person's photo and you can get artistic with it and creative and have some fun. This is my friend Tessa, who was brave enough to give me her photo and allow me to use it for part of this demonstration. So here's her photo. And then I put my basic prompt, and it came out, and here she is, AI-ified. It very much looks like Tessa. I would recognize that in a minute, that it looks like Tessa. So then I got her face. This is her base. So I'd already walked through the 3 steps, you know, make me smile, you know, change up some things, whatever, until I liked it. And then I pulled it back in and I said, now make me dance in a sacred tree hinge. Keep it as close up portrait as possible. Keep face consistent with original. Boom. That's pretty cool looking, isn't it? All right. Now, then I took it a step farther. Change me into a priestess dress wearing a cloak. There she is. Now make me hold an ornate chalice by both hands raised above my head. Beautiful chalice. I wouldn't mind having one of those. Now make me looking up to the sky. And there she is. Now here's the first time we have a face change right there. I played around with her portrait and gave her, this is without all the wrinkles. This is with blue eyes. This is with pink streams in her hair. It starts to change the way they look, but it's fun and it's carefree. Then I gave her fairy wings. I set her in a stone circle. I gave her a wand and the words free as a fairy. I loved that so much that I took it and made my own. Remember how I said taking a full chunk of the prompts and adding them all together? All of these now do this, now do that, now do this, off of the original one, right? I put it all together as a whole and I posted it for Tessa using Tessa's original photograph that I showed you at the beginning. And this is how it made her look. You can see it really doesn't look like Tessa, but man, it's a really cool looking photo. It's playful, it's fantasy. Okay, at Halloween, I took this photo of me and used my typical prompt, turned myself in, I AI-ified myself. It looks pretty good. You would know it's me, right? I gave myself a mischievous grin, smile, mischievous grin. And then I placed me in a haunted house, a haunted castle, instead of my art studio. And boom, everything, nothing changed. I'm in a art castle. I'm in a haunted castle. I said, make soft glowing fire flames coming from the tips of my fingers. There it is. Now remove all wrinkles from my forehead and around my eyes. Didn't quite do it. Whatever. It's okay because now I'm going the next step. Now dress me in a witch dress and a pointed hat. And there I am. Here's another one. I took a picture of me. I AIified myself. I really look like my older sister. I took the wrinkles away or softened them. You can see it begins to do it. You have to work at it. You have to be the boss. Now place me standing in a meadow near a stream. There I am in a meadow near a stream. Now change my clothes to a soft blush gown. I'm in a soft blush gown. Now have me holding a bunch of wildflowers from the meadow. And there you have it. There are so many fun things you can do with it. It's just a willingness to play and explore step by step. So I'm just showing you some refined prompts, taking away the facial wrinkles. This is for dreamy and luminous. This one is the watercolor, which I already showed you. This one is mosaic. Here's stained glass. This is a dramatic lino cut print. And here's a glitch art, an abstract digital texture. And then here's your corporate, your professional image. And of course, the sketch. And I am a big fan of the late Nikki Day St. Paul, who was a painter and a sculptress. And she was very well known for her Black Nana, very large, voluptuous portraits or sculptures of women. So I asked to be put into, turned into one of her nanas, and this is how it came out. I just love it to pieces. So you can see that playing with your photos, changing the elements one line at a time. You can easily say, once you've worked on and you've got your base, then you can go to changing your clothing. You know, put me in a power red suit, set me at, now place me in a sophisticated minimalist office. Now maybe sitting behind a desk, you know, you can do all kinds of things with it. I'm very open to helping you create an image if you would like. You just need to make contact with me, and I'm in the process of setting that up in my community one-on-one sessions that you can buy with me for a very minimal amount to get 3 to 5 finished, polished images for you. And I'm very happy to do that. Also, I just want to share with you is that this is how we open the door to artistic collaboration with AI. And, you know, by shedding hesitation, embracing play, and seeing technology as a mirror of ourselves. From here, my journey continues. So I have another workshop that will be ready to the public in December that's called Seeing and Being Seen. And that deepens into working with AI. So I want to just thank you for being here and enjoying and having fun with prompts and working with the transformation of your own image. You can do it with anybody. Key is the words. You're very welcome to use the words. In the Google document, you're also going to find a formula for how you can change up and make the prompts your own. So have fun with it. And I hope you enjoyed my gift and continue to explore.